Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome to the show. This is Angelina. And today we'll continue our discussions on what the downfall of Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli truly means. On January 24th, the Chinese Communist Party suddenly released an official announcement stating that Zhang Youxia, vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, and Liu Zhenli, CMC member of and the chief of the Joint Staff Department, are under official investigation. But wait a minute. Did you notice something highly unusual about this announcement? Because in the past, when handling big tigers at the ministerial level or vice national level, there was usually a long silent period or a delayed announcement. For example, in the case of Li Shangfu and Qinggang, the authorities only issued official statements months after investigations had already begun. Right? And this time, however, the arrest and the official announcement happened on the same day. So this is extremely rare and almost an instant kill style announcement. What kind of this signal does it send? First of all, let's look at the timing of this announcement. Okay. In Xi Jinping's previous anti-corruption campaigns, the usual strategy was lure the snake out of its hole or wait until the dust settles. Whether it was Zhou Yongkang, Guo Guoxiong, or more recently Li Shangfu and Qinggang, there was typically months or even half a year between rumors and the official confirmation. But this time, in dealing with Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli, the CCP acted and announced almost simultaneously. Okay, um, Zhang Youxia was arrested in the morning, and the official announcement came out at 3 p.m. So this sharp departure from past practice reflects that internal CCP power struggles have reached a boiling point. According to a latest phone call from Mr. Mao's school, at his intel, he was saying Zhang Youxia was arrested on the morning of the 24th Beijing time, and less than 24 hours later, the CCP publicly announced his arrest. And in the days leading up to it, pay attention, in the days leading up to it, the CCP deliberately leaked rumors that Zhang had been already detained. And the purpose was to beat the grass and startle the snake, just to see who he contacted, what assets were transferred, and so on. And Xi Jinping had people monitoring and tailing him around the clock. So as for Liu Zhenli, and he was sent on official business to northeastern China, deliberately separating him from Zhang Youxia, and was arrested there. And this is another crucial detail from Mr. Guo's intelligence. So before Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli were arrested, the top 30 officials of the former General Staff Department Security Bureau had already been taken into custody. So in this operation against Zhang and Liu, Xi Jinping deployed the Snow Leopard Commander Unit. The Snow Leopard Commando Unit is an elite special force of the armed police responsible for counterterrorism, internal stability, and protection of top leaders. So it effectively serves the role of assassinating military figures. And it is Xi Jinping's personal guard, equivalent to Putin's Praetorian Guard or Iran's Revolutionary Guard. So, and again, pay attention. This is the first time since the Mao era that such a force has been used in this way. So, in an extremely tense internal power struggle, whoever controls the narrative controls legitimacy. So Zhang Youxia is a heavyweight figure in the military. Both he and Liu Zhenli fought in the Sino-Vietnamese War and represented the CCP military's real combat experienced faction. As a matter of fact, aside from Zhang and Liu, there are now no other widely recognized combat experienced senior generals left. No, none. So this kind of immediate public announcement is meant to create overwhelmingly psychological pressure to tell all military factions that any resistance or hesitation is futile. Xi Jinping needs to display absolute control under extreme tense. But can he really control it? That's a $1,000,000 question to ask, to answer, right? So Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli's influence in the military is deeply entrenched. Their subordinates now occupy key command positions across the PLA. Will they really surrender quietly and follow up the path of Guo Fang Chenghui, and Xu Caihou? And don't forget, Miao Hua is still sitting in a prison. So the speed of this announcement alone shows how nervous Xi Jinping truly is. He is desperately trying to maintain his authority as a chairman of the Central Military Commission. Then what comes next? Based on Xi Jinping's past behavior pattern, he will undoubtedly carry out a comprehensive purge of Zhang and Liu's subordinates. We're talking about thousands. But how will these officers respond? At the same time, China's domestic economy is in deep decline, and public resentment is boiling, and society is already in a powder keg state. It may only take one spark to ignite everything. Don't you think so? So, how will provincial leaders and theater commanders choose? Xi Jinping is afraid. At the very least, he must stabilize public opinion. But can he? And then many people would ask, why them? Why Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli? And why now? Because corruption in the CCP military is nothing new, right? But an article published by PLA Daily yesterday is very telling. Here's what it says. Okay, I'll read it. Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli, as senior party and military leaders, have gravely betrayed the trust entrusted to them by the party Central Committee and the Central Military Commission, seriously trampled and undermined the CMC chairman responsibility system, severely weakened the party's absolute leadership over the military, and damaged the foundations of party's rule, severely harmed the authority and image of the CMC leadership, gravely impacted the political unity of officers and soldiers, and caused enormous combat effectiveness of the armed forces, resulting in extremely negative consequences of the party, the state, and the military. So, did you hear anything about corruption at all? So the article makes it very clear. The real reason they were investigated was not money, but disloyalty. They betrayed Xi Jinping. And as Miles Gore revealed in his latest call, right, among those Xi Jinping relied on most, Zhang Youxia ranked the second, only behind Xi Yuanping, his brother, but above his wife, Peng Liyuan. So their families shared generational ties. And Xi Jinping's father, Xi Zhongxun, and Zhang Youxia's father, Zhang Zongxun, were both from Shanxi and had been military political partners since 1945. And then in February of 1947, when the CCP formed the Shanganling Field Army, Zhang Zongxun served as commander and Xi Zhongxun as political commissar. So Zhang Zongxun was actually a lifesaver to the Xi family. Still, Xi Jinping arrested Zhang Youxia because Zhang had cooperated with the US intelligence agencies and was reported by his own subordinates. Even if Zhang Youxia cooperated with the US, the CCP's collapse is inevitable. Why? Just look at what the United States had already done before the Zhang Youxia was captured or arrested, right? The US has been actively advancing peace talks with Russia and engaging Central Asian countries. And Japan's new Prime Minister Semi Takachi taking office, adopting a hardline stance toward the CCP, becoming America's strongest ally, Asian ally, I mean. And Mr. Gore previously revealed, remember, that Japan's true military strength is far greater than public can see or have known. If Japan choose to react, it could take down the CCP in 5 minutes. There's another factor, the regime change, the collapse of Venezuela, right? Maduro captured alive, chosen prison in the US rather than going to China with Xi's envoy. Just keep in mind, Maduro was a key executor of the CCP's South American military deployment, election interference in the US, and drug trafficking operations. And then another ally of the CCP, Iran, is facing mass protests with the Khamenei regime on the brink. And Mao Gore, previously revealed that Zhang Youxia often talking to Xi. He said, China can live without natural gas, but it cannot stop burning oil. And China's overseas oil reserve, Iran and Venezuela, have essentially been cut off. Public information shows that 70% of China's oil comes from Iran and Venezuela. So Zhang Youxia, he knew far more than any one of us, right? As the executor of Xi Jinping's foreign strategy, Zhang understood better than anyone that Xi had already failed. And Xi exhausted the wealth of the Chinese people to prop up foreign authoritarian regimes, now all collapsing. And the CCP's crimes, drug trafficking, fentanyl, releasing COVID, are all about to be exposed and be taking accountability. So Xi Jinping has lost momentum. His so-called committee of shared destiny for committee for shared destiny for mankind, the global order has failed, and Zhang Youxia needed an exit. So cooperating with the United States was the best option for him. So otherwise, Qasem Soleimani could have been his fate, and he doesn't want that. But this betrayal was unforgivable to Xi Jinping. So for a dictator, becoming someone else's pledge of loyalty is unacceptable. And we're going, remember, Mr. Gore said, even if Zhang Youxia embezzled half of China, she would not have moved against him. But what Zhang gambled this time was his own life and his family's fate. And he did not want to be buried alongside Xi, right? Put these numbers into fact, okay? And take this into consideration, because Zhang Youxia's family reportedly numbers 60 to 70 members, mostly living in Europe. And he's said to have more than 20 children via IVF, and hundreds of billions of dollars in assets has been strategically positioned overseas over the years. So conclusion, this is one of the biggest political events in CCP history, and Xi Jinping's purge has already exceeded Stalin and Mao. So the shock to the world is enormous. The CCP military slogan, obey the party, maintain good conduct, and fight to win, has become a joke. It's totally a joke. If even Xi's most trusted ideologically pure red second generation military heir betrayed him, it proves that no one can be trusted. The regime is empty, is hollow inside, and both public and military confidence are gone, totally gone. So what comes next? Based on Xi Jinping's behavior pattern, Xi will launch an unprecedented purge, and the CCP will be filled with panic, suspicion, and fear. And this is the weakest, most terrified, and most out of control moment since 1949 in CCP history. So, massive internal chaos is inevitable, and the CCP cannot attack Taiwan, nor can it provide military support to Iran. So the backlash from the purge could topple Xi and the CCP at any moment, which I'm looking forward to. And then there's also this Rodriguez effect. With Maduro captured alive, Venezuela's Rodriguez effect has now appeared inside the CCP, and Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli are the CCP's Rodriguez. This is the best, the God-given moment, opportunity for the US to strike the CCP, for history to deliver its reckoning. So what's happening now inside China, right? Major events could erupt at any moment. Xi's rule is entering its most turbulent phase. It mirrors Saddam Hussein's discovering his son-in-law's cooperating with the US, and then he dragging him back from Jordan and put him on the street marching, right? So she is terrified. As Miles Gore said, that she may have to change sleeping locations multiple times a night, fearing assassination or being poisoned, right? So can she, now the question is, can she really control the military? Will soldiers truly accept having their families destroyed by Xi? Undercurrents are surging inside China, and the CCDI website has deleted earlier investigation notices. This is remarkable. This is something we need to pay attention to. And military compounds are under full lockdown. Armed troops are deployed in subways. And this Lunar New Year will be hard for CCP elites, well, as well as for the Chinese people, right? So Xi's enemies are not only in the military. We all understand that. The military was once his core pillar, now it has collapsed. Will sideline the civilian officials, law enforcement, and judicial figures miss this historical God-given opportunity to redeem their freedom? We'll see. So here's the final warnings, because Xi Jinping has become the common enemy of party elders and standing committee figures. So what will Wang Qishan, Zheng Qinghong, once Meng Jianzhu, Han Zheng, and others do. Can she still dreaming of attacking Taiwan? Does he have the ability? As Moscow said, Beijing military compounds are fully sealed, half of the subway lines suspended, armed police and state security deployed. So we urge citizens in Beijing, Shanghai, and other cities to stay alert and stay safe because martial laws could implement any moment under current conditions, right? So this is not simple anti-corruption. It is a political movement at full boil. So if the oppressed do not seize this heaven-sent opportunity to save themselves, they will only wait to be slaughtered. That's exactly what I'm thinking right now. So Sichuan and Xinjiang have already seen movement, but they are just too far from the core of power. You know what you should do, right? So the CCP stands on the eve of overthrow. The fall of Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli basically signifies the CCP is on the verge of being overthrown. We will continue to monitor developments closely and provide uninterrupted updates. And please follow us for the latest intelligence from the new federal state of China and Moscow regarding this unfolding event. So thanks for watching again, and leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section. Have a great weekend.